If you've ever wondered what happens when German engineering meets watchmaking, the answer is sitting right here. A Lange und Söhne. While the Swiss get all the horological glory, there's a small town in Germany called Glashütte that's been quietly showing them up since 1845. Well, not entirely quietly, because if you know watches, you know that Lange doesn't just make timepieces. They create mechanical masterpieces that make watch collectors weak at the knees and bank accounts weep. And unlike their Swiss counterparts who've been making watches continuously for centuries, Lange had to rise from the literal ashes twice. This is the story of how a German mayor turned watchmaker built an industry, lost it all, and how his great-grandson resurrected it 145 years to the day after it was founded, creating what might just be the most respected watch brand you've never heard of. The year is 1845, and while the Swiss are already dominating watchmaking, a German named Ferdinand Adolph Lange has a different vision. After apprenticing under master watchmaker Johann Friedrich Gutkaes and traveling through watchmaking centers in France, England, Switzerland, Lange returns to Saxony with a plan. See, the Outer Mountains region was economically devastated after the silver mines were depleted. Unemployment was rampant. So Lange does what any reasonable watchmaker would do. He writes to the government and says, "Hey, give me some money and I'll teach unemployed miners to make watches." Surprisingly, they say yes. On December 7, 1845, a Lange and Company was born with 15 apprentices and a dream. But here's where it gets interesting. Lange wasn't just building a company, he was building an entire industry. While the Swiss were using the Parisian ligne measurement system, Lange introduced the metric system to watchmaking, a revolutionary move that put him ahead of its time. He also developed the three-quarter plate, which is still a signature of Lange watches today. Oh, and did I mention he was also the mayor of Glashütte for 18 years? Talk about a side hustle. Under his leadership, the town transformed from a struggling mining community into a watchmaking powerhouse. The quality was so exceptional that Lange watches found their way into the wrists, well, pockets actually, of royalty. German Emperor Wilhelm II, Tsar Alexander II of Russia, and Abdul Hamid II of the Ottoman Empire all owned Lange timepieces. Well, I guess the first of each name would be very impressed as well. Not bad for a startup from a small German town. But then came World War II. On the very last night of the war in May 1945, Allied bombing destroyed the Lange workshops. And if that wasn't enough, the Soviets seized what was left of the means of production in 1948, nationalizing the company along with every other watchmaker in Glashütte. The Lange name disappeared from watch dials, being replaced by the state-owned GUB, Glashütter Uhrenbetriebe. God, I'm butchering German names, I'm very sorry about that. But for 45 years, the Lange und Söhne existed only in memory and in the treasure timepieces of collectors. Fast forward to 1989, the Berlin Wall falls, and Walter Lange, great-grandson of Ferdinand Adolph, sees an opportunity. On December 7, 1990, exactly 145 years to the day after his great-grandfather founded the original company, Walter re-registers the Lange und Söhne trademark. But Walter wasn't alone. He partnered with Gunther Blümlein, a legendary figure who was already running IWC and Jaeger LeCoultre. Together, they had a vision to create watches that would surpass even the Swiss in quality and complexity. 4 years later, on October 24, 1994, they unveiled their first collection of 4 watches. The star of the show, the Lange 1, with its revolutionary asymmetrical dial and outsized date. A design so perfect, it has barely changed in nearly 30 years. The outsized date wasn't just beautiful, it was a technical achievement inspired by the 5-minute clock at Dresden's Semperoper, created by Lange's mentor Gutkaes. His connection to Saxon heritage would become a hallmark of the brand's identity. In 2000, the Richemont Group acquired a Lange und Söhne, providing the resources to grow while maintaining its independence and distinctive German character. Unlike many Swiss brands that moved to Geneva, Lange stayed true to its roots, remaining in Glashütte, where it all began. Now, let's talk about what makes a Lange a Lange. While Swiss movements often feature Côte de Genève decoration and rhodium plating, Lange movements are instantly recognizable by their German silver three-quarter plates, an untreated copper, nickel, and zinc alloy that develops a warm patina over time. And if you think your IKEA furniture is complicated, consider this. Every Lange watch is assembled twice. First, the watchmakers put the entire movement together, adjusting it to perfectly working order, and then they take it all apart again. The parts are cleaned, decorated, and reassembled into the final watch. It's like baking a cake, tasting it, then unbaking it to add a little bit more frosting. Each Lange watch features a hand-engraved balance clock, the small component that holds the balance wheel. Every engraver develops their own unique style, meaning no two Lange watches are exactly alike. It's like a horological fingerprint. Then there's the finishing. Lange applies black polishing to components, a technique so perfect that the metal appears black from certain angles and mirror-like from others. It's completely unnecessary for the function of the watch, but absolutely essential for a Lange. While Rolex produces around 1 million watches annually, and even Patek Philippe makes about 60,000, Lange creates just 5,000 watches per year. Each one takes months to complete, with some of the more complicated pieces limited to just one per year. The Lange one remains the brand's flagship model, with its off-center dial arrangement that somehow managed to be perfectly balanced despite breaking every rule of symmetrical design. It's like the horological equivalent of a German accent. Technically imperfect but undeniably charming. Then there's the Zeitwerk, introduced in 2009, featuring a mechanical digital display that shows the time in hours and minutes with jumping numerals. Creating a mechanical watch that can instantly jump these displays required solving enormous power management challenges. It's like trying to teach a mechanical typewriter to send text messages. The 1815 collection, named for Ferdinand's birth year, represents the brand connection to its heritage, with traditional design elements like the railway track, minute scales, and Arabic numerals. It's the horological equivalent of a perfectly tailored suit, classic, elegant, and never going out of style. And in 2019, Lange finally entered the luxury sports watch category with the Odysseus, their first regular production stainless steel watch with an integrated bracelet. It was Lange's way of saying, fine, we'll make a sports watch, but we'll do it our own way. And their way includes a perfectly synchronized day-and-date display that jumps instantly at midnight. In just over 30 years since its rebirth, a Lange & Söhne has established itself as one of the world's most respected watch manufacturers. While they don't have the marketing budget of Rolex or the centuries-long unbroken history of Patek Philippe, they have something perhaps more valuable, an uncompromising commitment to perfection. Walter Lange's motto was "Never stand still," and the company continues to innovate while honoring its heritage. From the ashes of war and division, a Lange & Söhne has risen to create timepieces that represent the pinnacle of German engineering and craftsmanship. In a world dominated by Swiss watchmaking, a Lange & Söhne reminds us that sometimes the greatest treasures come from unexpected places, and that German precision, when applied to the art of watchmaking, creates something truly extraordinary. Timepieces that don't just tell time, but tell a story of resilience, rebirth, and relentless pursuit of perfection. So next time someone shows off their Rolex or Patek, you can nod politely and say, "That's nice, but have you ever seen a Lange & Söhne?" Just be prepared to explain where Glashütte is.